Blog Talk Radio.
Welcome, people. Welcome to the Superconscious Outlet. So here we go. Tonight, if you call in right now, if you're listening right now, just be informed that you're in for a real good show. Tonight we're going to be talking about reestablishing the black mind. This is a very good topic tonight, and we're going to go in depth. We also have a guest speaker. Brother Grasshopper is going to be here speaking with us. But before we go any further, let me check with my co-host and make sure everything is as it should be. Coach Shauna, are you there?
I'm here. How you doing today, Brother God?
I'm good. Now, were you having some issues with your phone or something in your background? Is everything okay?
Yeah, actually, did you get my message?
Yeah, I did. But, I mean, that's...
No, I was just wondering if there was a way that I could do that personally when, because I'm actually at a baby shower right now for my sister.
Oh, yeah, you could do it. You could do it from your phone. You can just mute your phone.
Okay. Oh, okay. Duh. Huh, right. Okay. Thank you. That's so obvious right there. All right. Never mind me. Okay. So let's get the show going though.
Okay. Well, do you have any? Do you have all of the information as far as so you don't have that information with you for the?
No, I have it with me today. I wrote it down in a notebook.
Okay. Yeah. Well, go ahead and give the people all the information for the up and coming shows. What we have in store this week, and then we'll just go ahead and get started.
Perfect. Let's give our shout outs to our sponsors today. First, I want to shout out Universal Radio at facebook.com/UniversalRadio2. Another shout out to our brother God, Amin-Ra Darby, who is an author of the children's book Swazi Baka, and his new release is Cultivated Mentality. You can purchase them at aminradarby.com or amazon.com, and they're also available on ebook. Also, I'd like to shout out one of our favorite pages, Blacks Be Like, a page that highlights African Americans in a positive manner. I'm going to shout them out. They're located at facebook.com/blacksbelike1. Another shout out to Brother God, Devon Allen. He has the Reshape the People workout and meal plan. You can contact this brother at 310-438-0154 or email him at dthings, D as in David, THINGS 1236@AOL.com. And last but definitely not least, we want to shout out my Sisters Keeper, which is also one of those beautiful pages on Facebook that shows African American women in a very positive light. You can find them at My Sisters Keeper on Facebook. Sisters is spelled SISTARS. Monday we have the Jay Allen Show, hosted by Jay Allen and Nazir. Wednesdays we have the You Must Learn, hosted by Lamar Martin. Saturdays we have Us, Superconscious Outlet, hosted by none other but our brother God Roger Arrow and myself, Koshana Quayle. And Sunday we have Let's Talk About It, hosted by our girl Z and Tiffany Gibson. Back to you, Brother God.
Okay, so listen, people. Today I picked up a couple more books, and one of the books is What Blacks Owe to Each Other: The Reckoning, and that's by Arthur Randall Robinson. That's just a book I suggest that you all pick up and just look at it and see what you can get from it. I find it to be a very interesting book, just barely getting into it. Also, there's another book called The Early Reformers, and it's by, it's edited by James Takash. So this is another book. It's about, some of the early reformers, some of the people that basically wanted to create a separate black nation, such as Marcus Garvey. If you don't know who Marcus Garvey is, Marcus Garvey was truly a messiah.
One of the greatest, yes.
In his own right. The man was born in Jamaica in 1887. He migrated as a young man to New York, and he became intrigued with the idea of creating a separate, economically independent black society within American society or in Africa. So today, people, when we talk about speaking on people like, the Honorable Messiah Marcus Garvey, and when you speak about spirituality and when you're aware, then these spirits, they just come back. So, all of us get a bits and pieces of us when we become in tune, when we seek to be who we are spiritually and mentally. When we reach for that plateau, as that song, if you were listening to the intro song, it says, when a man becomes a man no longer, he becomes something stronger. This is when you transcend into your higher self, and your higher self is that God you've been seeking. When you start to actually know that you can create things not only for yourself but for others, and it's all about how you think. What are your thoughts? When you have thoughts of jealousy, envy, and hate, well, then you're basically creating a life of chaos. When you have thoughts of positivity, wanting to see your fellow man excel and achieve, now you're setting yourself up so you can excel and achieve in whatever it is you decide to do in life with your life. So tonight we're going to talk about just that, getting back to who we are. Being the builders that we are, being the creators. We have, become nothing more than pretty much brain-dead consumers. And when there's one reaching for a certain goal or trying to obtain, a certain place in life, so to speak, we criticize our own so much. Then we point the finger and we say, it's this oppressor that's doing this. Well, that oppressor was the cause of it initially. Now, here we are in 2014, and I'm still hearing brothers say, in the so-called conscious community, that's that Willie Lynch mentality. Well, damn it, after tonight, it's going to be your mentality. If you want to change, then you need to start changing. You need to start changing with your thoughts. You need to make yourself better first and foremost. Nothing changes until you change. What do I mean by changing? Not changing who you are, but changing simple things like your thought process, changing your wording, how you refer to each other. All of these things are important, how you interpret, what your level of comprehension, reading something and then taking it how you want to take it instead of verifying or researching to make sure that's how the person was trying to express it. I see this a lot, especially in text messaging and communication. Our comprehension is low, people, plain and simple. Our comprehension is low. We need to do better, okay? Each day you can wake up and be better than you were. You don't have to find fault and criticism on what the next brother or sister is not doing. Focus on what you're doing, what you're building. Then you will begin to attract like minds. So you will have people that you can build with instead of criticizing everybody and say what everybody is not doing. If you start doing, then you will attract doers. But if you just complain and nag, you're going to attract complainers, naggers, whiners, and people that want to place the blame on something other than themselves. So that's where we're at tonight. You know what I mean? The internet radio is one way that I'm trying to reach out and reach and give back to people, having a life and a lifestyle that I live, to say, you know what, that's not getting it. You know what I mean? I didn't have to go to any kind of clinic. I didn't have to go to any kind of psychiatric care just to know that I wasn't created for this. I wasn't created to be in and out of prison. I wasn't created to be, with a life of misery. I didn't come here for that. So when I start seeking and searching and I start going inside of myself, my main goal was to repair me, to make me better, to make me more whole, more complete, more loving, more giving, and I just feel that's the direction that we need to all be traveling in the collective, and if you're not, well then, hey, more power to you, I wish you a nice life and peace to you, you know what I mean? But it's to the point now where we have all these different sayings, these different fads that come in, and you know, for 1 minute, you know, it's cool. Now everybody's on this conscious tip, and now these same people that are conscious are finding fault with everybody else. I mean, it's a blame game. You know, we keep going over the same book. You know, the Bible is this, the Bible is that. Well, you're the greatest book that was ever written, but you have to complete it. You have to complete that book. You are the book. So understand that. Until you learn to study and research and read yourself, nothing else will be completely comprehensible to you. It's just that simple. You know, we can go out and we can say, you know, it's so complicated, it's so mysterious, it's such a secret. There's no damn secret, people. There is no secret at all. There is no secret. This is ancient knowledge. Look inside of yourself. You know, meditate, go inside, reconnect to who you are spiritually, because this is not a big mystery. You know, we have hundreds and thousands, millions upon millions of us tomorrow, and some today will run into these different churches and these different divisions of separation, and it's simply like this: enough is enough. And so, if we stay separated, so what it's going to come down to is going to come down to a competition. So now it's going to be a competition to who wants to be heard, who wants to be right. As long as you have a need to be right and find out what's wrong and what's good and what's bad, you're going to be going in circles, people. There is no good, there is no bad, it just is. It just is. It just comes down to this: choices. Choices. You make the choice, there's a consequence to the choice that you make. Okay? If you want to change something, then you have to stop contributing. Most people that are listening to this show, how many ever are listening, I have no idea. You are contributing to your oppressor in some form or fashion. We are no longer builders. We are no longer producing any products that are sold on a national level. We market things, and we get behind these other internet companies, and the first thing we want to do is start bringing other people in to make money. I can make you this money overnight. You know, just send me $1,500, and I'm going to send you back $4,000. You know, the joke is up. The scheme is up. It's time to get real or just get out the way. Because my team, we're going to change things. We are going to win. You know why? Just because I said it. I spoke it, and so shall it be. So that's it. So I don't know, Sister Goddess Christiana, where we want to go from this tonight. I'm just feeling a little irate because, you know what, it's time for our people to really step up and, you know, take the kid gloves off and quit playing. I mean, we find so many faults and everything, mainly with each other. You know, he thinks he's this. She thinks she's that. Her hair is long. Her hair is short. Her hair is perm. We need to stop it with that. You know, we need to stop it with the hair. We need to stop with the gang stuff. We need to stop it with all this nonsense that we keep blaming this Willie Lynch character, which to this day, people, just so you know, if you do your research, Willie Lynch cannot be authenticated. However, the letter was written, but it cannot be authenticated that an actual man named Willie Lynch wrote this actual letter. Okay? So for all you scholars out there, all you historians, you know, all you philosophers, do your research, look it up. Willie Lynch is so embedded in our heads that that's the quickest thing that we can come to. Oh, well, you don't like me because you still got that Willie Lynch mentality. All this Allah and this God and this Christ and all this different stuff that you've been bombarded with, indoctrinated with, and dumbed down with needs to stop. Needs to stop. If our lives, if everything was going to do, anybody was going to do something, they haven't done it now, it's 2014, well, it's not going to happen. Simple as that. If you look and you read any of those books, those books were dated. It said for the next 400 years, this, and that. Okay, so we know we endured enslavement for a period of time, and now we've come out of physical enslavement only to be mentally enslaved. And then, again, we can only point the finger at each other. We can only find fault within each other. You know, we need to take the time to look and recognize what leadership looks like. Leadership is not famous. Malcolm X did not have internet. He did not have social media. He didn't have Twitter. So he wasn't able to tweet millions of people. This man is known globally by his leg work, by his courage, by his excellence. Dr. Martin Luther King, another one. Whether you agree with him or not, he done something. He done something. Everybody can find fault. Oh, he was an ass-kissing Uncle Tom, whatever. Okay, but he done something. Okay? You have Marcus Garvey, the man I mentioned in the introduction of this show. There's another one. These people are known globally, worldwide people. They didn't have internet. They didn't have social media. So for people to sit around and complain on Facebook or whatever you do, complain face-to-face, guess what? You are a part of the problem. You are not a part of the solution. You are a part of the problem, point blank. You have my personal number. If you don't, I will be glad to give it to you. You have the number to this show. Call in and let's talk about it. Speak your mind. Speak your mind. This is the avenue where you give people a chance to speak their mind, you know. So there you go. Only thing we can do is put forth an effort. If you come across, you listen, you want to do something, you want to make a change, well, now is your chance to speak, because our mental condition is in bad shape, people. And what you don't know is that all of us, every single black person in this world, especially America, has a mental ailment. And that's embedded from slavery. And even the ones that didn't get to arrest American slavery, the ones that are in Africa and all these different foreign countries, they have it too, because they see us as images. And we project the image of mental slavery. We become bogged down to material possession, where we think that it's all about getting a big house. It's all about getting a big car. It's all about getting a bigger car than the homie got. It's all about getting better than what the next person has. That don't make you people. What you leave behind here, what kind of legacy will you leave? That's what makes you something. Because Malcolm X, he wasn't a wealthy man, but he left a legacy. Martin Luther King, Marcus, all these men. I mean, Harriet Tubman. You know, these people left legacy. They didn't have a bunch of Bentleys and all that stuff. So check yourself before you try to check somebody else. That's pretty much what I got to say. You know what I mean? You want to say something?
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, I can hear the fire in your tone. What I want to say is I agree with you 100%, and what I'm hearing is that it's time for us to take responsibility. And I know, coming from a victim personality, to take responsibility is very hard, because we're suffering from being victimized and seeing ourselves as victims. But until we take responsibility, we cannot shift our own reality. So, like you said about the Willie Lynch and things, I do want to say I recognize that we do, first, to reestablish the black mind, I believe that we do have to recognize that there is something wrong. You know, before I became awakened, I remember life just seemed like that's what life was. It was just angry black people, you know. You don't say hi, you know, that was just life. And I had no idea for a long time why we were that way. Where did this come from? I just thought that was black people. And when I became awakened, I started to understand what post-traumatic slavery was, and I started to understand what happened to our minds, that we were brainwashed and that we were conditioned to be people who had no self-love, you know, and no love for each other. And so part of our responsibility, especially those who claim that egotistical label of being conscious people, which we all know now that there are so many degrees to what consciousness is, we have to evolve past the jealousy. We have to evolve past the hatred and the envy and all those things that we saw in that old paradigm was holding us back. And the main thing we need to evolve past is the victim. Because as long as we are victims in our mind, we will be victims in everything. We will continue to live a victim version of life. You know, I hate to say this, but in reality, we are experiencing an entire different paradigm than everyone else on this planet. And even though you see other countries where, well, they're not rich and they're not this and they're not that, or they're going through that, they still have self-love. They still have love for themselves and love for their people and love for their culture. So what we're needing to do to reestablish our minds is to first recognize, yes, this is not a natural condition that we're under. We're not naturally negative people. When we think, okay, black people, no, black people aren't naturally that way. That is not how they were created. That's something that has happened over time, and that's due to a lot of fear and a lot of things that we've been put under, a lot of pain that we suffered from. You know, we notice that in the black families, the fathers are leaving, which is also changing. I've seen a totally difference in that too. But you know, there was that father flight movement where all the daddies were leaving their kids, and then you go back to slavery and you realize that is something that has been embedded in them to do. So
exactly.
now that we have become conscious of it and we're aware of it, now what do we do? Where do we move from here? Okay, you recognize that something's not right about this situation. You recognize that the condition we're under is not right. What do we do now? How do we reestablish our mind? What are the next steps? But first, you do have to see the problem. A lot of people are not even recognizing that this is in our natural state of being. We honestly, like I said before, I used to just think that that's what it was. You know, that's how we act. I didn't know that is not how my people act. That is a condition that they're suffering from. And it's coming back from hundreds of years of programming, hundreds of years of being taught the light skin against the dark skinned people, brothers against their woman, you know. But now that we are aware, now that we are considering ourselves conscious, which means awareness, now that we are aware, what are the steps that we take? You know, what do we need to do to reestablish our black psyche? What do we need to do to bring back that consciousness to our minds and to take those, to really change this paradigm? Because to be honest, the power is in us. There's no one else, not no other race, not no other president, not nobody going to do this for us. We cannot sit there and think, oh, Obama became the president, he's going to fix it. No one's going to fix it. You're the only one that can fix this situation for yourself. And together, as one unit, we can change reality so that our next generations grow up loving each other, you know, grow up honoring each other. And I think you hit on so many points, you know, of what we're suffering from. And just to think that the cure is inside yourself. You know, there's no outside cure. There is no white Jesus that's going to come down and save you. There is no white Buddha. There is no Mohammed. There is no one but you. And you have to literally do the work it takes to not see your brother as a threat, to not see your sister as, you know, she pretty, I got to hate on her. You know what I'm saying? Oh, you don't, and like you said, it's getting so bad where it's like, first you were ridiculed for having nappy hair. Now you're ridiculed for having permed hair. You're ridiculed for having a weave. You're ridiculed for having locks. And you're not ridiculed from anybody else but your own people.
But your own people. Your own people, sweetheart. And Koshana, I mean, not to cut you off, but this is like, I can't stomach it no more. And I'm so glad that we have this show. I mean, I'm really going to just speak my mind today. I am disappointed. Am I done with my people? No. Am I disappointed? Hell yes. You know why? Because I know if I can do it, somebody that came from a two-parent home that chose the streets, drugs, gangbanging, and prison to re-educate myself, to have the knowledge that I have, there's not a man on this planet right now that I cannot sit down with and have a conversation and talk to him in his dialect. What I mean is in his words. Whatever words you want to use. If you want to use a bunch of $50 psychological words, then come on with it. If you want to use some street talk, some street slang, come on with it. Because this is the versatility of who we are as a people. I mean, people going around saying, oh, yeah, what's up, God? Peace, God.
Right.
But are you aware of what you're doing? Are you aware of the example that you're putting off every day? Are you being there for your family? Are you being there for your brother when your brother has hard times? Are you loving your sister? You know what I mean? If we can't get along in a family structure of 4 or 5, then how in the hell are we going to do something on a worldwide level?
Right. The first step to nation building is building it in family. You can't build a nation if you can't build a home. Period.
Right. And,
you know.
And we have lost the idealism and the structure and the importance of family. Everybody in the family hierarchy plays a significant role in that family, whether it be the auntie, the crazy boisterous uncle, you know, whatever. Everybody has a role to fulfill in a family unit. And as we go from the family, then we spread it to the community. Most people don't even know what community is, don't even know what the word commune is. All
right.
these words are root words. They form the word communication.
Right.
You know? And it's time to quit playing. I mean, I look at Facebook. Everybody has a group now. It's separate. This
right.
group is private. This group, your post got to be approved before you know you can post. I mean, just come on, people. Facebook is making us more crazy. Point
right.
blank. You know what I mean? The crap that we posted on there, the world's looking at us looking like, damn, look at them mixed up people.
Right.
This is the image that we give into the world now via Facebook. We just fall into everything we see. We just run into it gung-ho, head first. Everybody
right.
wants to be something other than themselves on Facebook. Well, guess what, people?
Right.
Sometimes the best thing I'm seeing is the hardest thing for some people to do, and that's just be yourself. Just be
right.
you. There's nobody like you. You don't have to strive to be different. You don't have to paint your hair purple to be different. Be you.
Right.
And if you want to wear purple hair, wear purple hair.
You know, what you just touched on before, I think, was golden, and that was the family structure. And as far as the reestablishment of our mentality, that is the key. I mean, that is going to be where you have to start. We have to really get back to being family. If you look at every other culture on this planet, if you look at every other group of people, they have a family. They have a family unit. You don't see the man is there, the wife is there. I mean, you get into some Asian cultures, they take in the mother-in-law lives with them. You know, Hispanic cultures, abuelitas, abueleros, they all live together. You know, and they stay like that. And I remember when I was growing up back in the 80s and 70s, that's why I think drugs and stuff played a role. But early back, we used to have a family unit where, I mean, you grew up, you saw your aunties, you saw your cousins, and then over time I started noticing everyone moving into totally different areas. You know, now you have an auntie who lives way in Santa Clarita, you know, or somewhere up in Orange County, and then you got an uncle in L.A. Before, we used to live on the same block. You know, you used to be able to go to Auntie Patty's house 2 houses down. You know, but that family unit, my goodness, that is, like I said, that's golden. That is where it has to start. And for all the brothers and sisters listening to this call, that is primary. You know, you have to start with respecting your husband, loving your children again, you know, treating them like they're special. Stop treating them like they're little badasses and treat them with some respect, because we're abusive towards our kids. You know, I am what I get tired of, and not to get on that vibration, but of seeing the mother out in public with her child and her roughhousing her child or cursing out her child in public, you know, and grabbing a little, and I mean that, and I'm being real honest. I only see that with my sisters. I only see that in my own community. I look around. I don't see Hispanic women doing that. I don't see Asian women doing that. I see our people roughhousing our 4-year-old babies. They're 3, and they're getting pulled and cursed out, and they're in public doing that. So, I mean, like I said, what you said was golden. It has to start with our family structure. We have to become conscious of that kind of stuff. That is not cute, people. That is not attractive, and you're not impressing anyone by cursing your child out. I'm not looking at you like, wow, she really told him. I'm really upset. It really hurts my feelings. And a lot of times I'll be ready to step in, you know.
I do
take
step
it personally.
in. I do step in. You know, because
we have to do that.
Yeah, because you know what it is? I mean, this is some imagery, just like somebody, you know, I'm going to whip your ass. I'm going to beat the shit out of you. You just like your daddy. Your daddy ain't shit. Check this out, people.
Right.
When you say those kind of things to your children, you know what? You are creating another generation of slaves. You are doing it.
Exactly.
You are doing it. Whipping came from them. We don't beat our children.
Right.
I'm going to beat my children's ass. We do not beat our children. Not the true black man. We talk to our children because those are little human beings. Okay? You got that beating and whipping. Well, Grandma used to whip me with a switch. She used to make me go get, and then you take pride in that nonsense. Okay? Check this out. For all y'all that's listening, how many ever it is, I don't know, because I'm going to go on Facebook and put everybody on blast today anyway. Okay? So check this out. You're ignorant. You're ignorant. If you beat your child, you're ignorant. I have two. I whipped one up one time because she hit. And when she hit, I had to tell her what happens when you hit. You get hit back. So for you to take a belt or a extension cord or a Hot Wheel track to your child, you see what it created. It created people like me, people that go out and join gangs and go out and shoot down innocent people. That's what you created with your whipping and your beating. You created people that go and smoke crack cocaine all day, and that's all they want to do is just smoke crack because they can't understand why they couldn't express themselves, so they had to be beat. So if you beat your child, guess what? You are a slave master. You don't have to beat your children. You know what I mean? Children are to be loved, nourished, and guided. And you didn't create your sperm, you didn't create your ovary. So let's talk about all the issues. Where are all the callers tonight? It just amazes me. It just amazes me because when it's a nonsensical show, you know what I mean, or some of the other blog talk radio shows that I call in and just listen to and don't say nothing, I hear a bunch of nonsense. I hear a bunch of feedback. But when it comes down to the nitty gritty, oh yeah, you don't get too many calls or too much feedback then. You know what I mean? You get a bunch of
because
silence.
It's touching home.
You know what I mean? You know.
Yeah.
But listen, right now, Christiana, just let me take this caller right now. Right now, I'm on the line. You know, people do have a problem being patient. So let's take the first caller, 1004. Are you there? You're on the air with Superconscious Outlet.
Good evening, you guys. This is Carlotta.
Hey,
Hi,
Carlotta.
How are you, Goddess?
Good evening. I am. I'm doing pretty good. Yeah, you guys do touch on a lot of subjects that need to be talked about.
Yeah.
Need to be talked about. And I grew up in the 80s. You know, I was born in the 70s. So, you know, you're absolutely right when you talk about the family structure. You know, and sometimes it just feels like you just lose all hope. And, you know, I tell my children, I talk till I'm blue in the face, and just so I know that you get it.
Right.
You know, so, but it seems like it's a losing battle from the outside in when they're fighting up against the elements of the outside, which you're not teaching them. That's what they're, you know, that's what they're most intrigued with, because they don't want to do what we did. I didn't have a television in the house for years.
Right.
But it seemed like they did, you know, I tried to keep it simple. And I would tell my children, you know what, when you get introduced to chaos, and that, you know, that I taught them about chaos, when people start feeding you certain things, you'll be able to understand what's uncomfortable so that you can find your way up out of it. Just calm down, go back to the basics, and start reading what you were taught as a child. You know, just calm down. But when they started, you know, kicking it with their friends and going to school, and the teachers start acting all wicked and wild and crazy, and you tell her you suspended, and no, you're not suspended because you didn't tell me about what was going on. You did not allow me to address that matter. So you fight. They're fighting up against the elements of their own people, and you're absolutely right. They're fighting up against their own people. You are being judged by its insanity, and I feel like it is a form of slavery because they're not allowed to be themselves. And then when they do something, you know, to express themselves, or they do get a whooping. You know, my children have gotten whooping, but it was to let them know, hey, you know, you cannot be doing that. You can't throw a chair. What's wrong with you?
Right.
You know,
yeah, exactly. I mean, you know,
you can't do what other people doing. You know.
Right.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
But no, but that's first of all, Carlotta. This is Carlotta Howard, right?
Yes.
Okay, so you did get the book. I see that you purchased the book.
Yes, I did.
Okay, listen. So let me just touch on that for a minute. I've been putting that book out since I was aware of it. When I became aware of it, I went and purchased it that same day. You are the only person on my friend list out of over almost 1,700 people, 1,600 and some odd people. You are the only one that purchased that book. Okay? That book alone will tell you how the music is affecting us. It'll tell you how we interact with each other, how our business practices. I mean, and that's just one book. Okay? from a man's point of view that grew up, speaking about what he noticed in his community at one time when it was a community. Just to touch on what you said real briefly, the fact that you have to discipline your child, when they throw a chair, then yeah, you may have to resort to some kind of physical discipline. But most of the time, in my case, what I do is we live in a time now, I'll just remove things. You know what I mean? My child is involved. We only have the one now. She's 9. My 22-year-old, she's 22 years old. So, but now, if she's in baseball, she's in swimming, she's in dance, all these different things. So guess what? If there has to be a discipline, these are things that I know she's come to enjoy. Well, we won't be doing swimming lessons this week. Mm-hmm. Oh, no, you won't be going to softball practice. When you start removing things, and then so you let them know, see, now there's a consequence to your behavior. You know what I mean? Right. But when a child is trying to express themselves, one of the best things we can do is listen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We have to get over this thing that we're always right because we're the adults or because an elder said so. Because we have elders right now in our community that are leading us to a living hell in a handbasket.
Yep.
Okay? So when we have to learn to respect our youth, when we criticize the youth, oh, look at them. They just wearing their pants all hanging down off around their ass. Mm-hmm. Well, who raised them? Who raised them? Look at the music they're listening to. Who's allowing them to listen to that music?
Right.
You know what I mean?
You gotta be careful who you let in your house, too. You gotta be careful who you let in your house.
Yeah, that, too. You know what I mean?
And
you have to know their friends. Who are your friends?
Yeah.
Who? Wait a minute. What's your parents' name? Oh, I need to meet with your parents. You need to see what they doing in their household. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I don't mean to cut you off, but this is, my son is 17, and my son took a grown man's move and moved out the house.
Wow.
So this is what I'm saying. This is a result of, just trying to the outside because, someone, you just got to be careful. That's all I can say because when you think you're doing the right thing for your child, they get around their influence peers, and this is an impressionable time. He's very, very artistic. He is very oh my God, I didn't even know he can draw. He was a lot like me. He and my daughter both. I could say so much beautiful things about my children, but it took a wrong turn. And when when we moved to Atlanta, and the whole thing started changing because I didn't know that this was one of the states for the highest states for methamphetamines and the highest state for the state high-end child abduction and all of this kind of stuff. It's everywhere, but it's more prominent. The doggone break-ins and home invasions and stuff like that. Now, I wasn't aware of a lot of that stuff, and so that made me afraid once we got here. But then I started covering them a little bit more, but we don't have anybody here. It's just us, me and them. But they gone now. They out of they done moved out of the house and think that everything's kosher. They think it's all fun and games now because we in Atlanta. Everybody pumped it up and been in Atlanta, the big A and the A-town, the South Side, and all this bull crap. But that's all they see. That's all they see, and that's all they hearing. They're not hearing about the real, a lot of the stuff that's truly going on. All they want to know is they want to have their own little place, and they want to kick it with their friends, and they want to do this and this and that. And I said, what you were just saying a little bit ago, tell me where you at. Where you going? Keep your ID on. Keep your ID on you so whatever happened. Now, as this is real weird that we've been talking about this, because I told you when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. Every single time I've been dealing with you guys, listening to y'all put this out there in the open where somebody can know that it exists and there's still help, and you can just recondition yourself to just hear and put forth an answer to the problem. It is. I'm not even angry anymore. I'm very humble at the moment.
Right.
I'm so humble. I'm sad because it's to the point where now mine is in the midst. All children always at my house, and I was always trying to make a safe haven. And look,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? So I don't mean to, I just want to put forth, and I appreciate it. And I ain't going to take too much more time, but I just want to put that out there. Thank y'all. I appreciate y'all. I do.
Listen, Carlotta, this is why I do this show. I do this show because it's a way for me to give back, to try to correct some of the derogatory and the negative influence that I put into blackness as a whole, as I put into my community. The place where I grew up, because it's no longer a community, and we have to know that, you know, we're at war. Okay, plain and simple. We're trying to be annihilated, but here's the thing: we can't recognize the enemy because, you know, we have these black celebrities that are doing all this derogatory language in music, and music is one of the most influencing things in the world, people. If you think I'm lying, do your research. I have studied with some of the top psychologists on this planet, and it is undeniably true, okay? The music you listen to influences you, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So you have to understand, first of all, you have to know how to listen. You have to understand rhythms and beat. You understand? If you listen to a bunch of crazy bass, that's going to influence your pulse, get your adrenaline up, and you're going to go out there and you're going to do something stupid, and you'll listen to one of these rappers that's talking about, excuse my language, killing a nigga, and you're going to go out there and you're going to kill a nigga, then your dumb ass going to be in prison, then you're going to be blaming the man because you fell into the trap. You know what I mean? These dudes come out here and they trying to hustle, and they grind it. So they destroying our people, though, because they ain't selling dope to the white folks. They selling dope to their brothers and sisters. They selling dope to their people they grew up with. They selling dope to the next generation of dope users. I mean, that's why meth is big, because, okay, they tried us with the PCP. I was born in the 60s. So I grew up in the 70s and the 80s, okay? So in the 80s, I was already a young man. Here we come with this new drug. We already know what heroin do. We already know what PCP do. We know a little bit about powder cocaine, so now they got to come up with something new. They got to come out like crack, and it's just like rats in the laboratory. We just gobbled it up. And then we said, well, shit, we can make money off of it. But we made money off of it by destroying our own people. So then we started applauding, and then we started clapping hands and praising people like Jay-Z because he sold dope and then turned to a rapper, and now he's God. He's Hova. He's Jehovah. You know, Beyonce got a church where people worship her. What kind of nonsense are we going through? And I'm not upset. I'm not irate. I'm not even passionate. I'm just telling it like it T.I. is, point blank, how it is, okay? Anywhere, you got people have an aunt down there, Carlotta in Smyrna. Oh, Jesus ain't did shit for me, people. If you listening, he ain't did shit for me because he ain't never exist in the first place. It was a story. It was an allegory tale. Jesus and Christ is a mindset. When you elevate yourself and you have a Christ-like mind, then you want to be loving. You want to lead people into knowledge. That's all it is. It's not no big old mystery. You know what I mean? But our problem is, too, is we refuse to listen. We refuse to listen because I ain't going to listen to him because I had one woman tell me, oh, you just one of them old prison-educated niggas. That came from a black woman. I haven't met a white person yet that I live around to disrespect me. It wasn't my choice. I had no choice but to move away from all the nonsense because where I grew up at is not fit to raise a child. So if I have any people out there in Pacoima that's listening, it's you know, Pacoima, California, you know what I mean, San Fernando Valley, where you got a bunch of nonsense, you know what I mean, where people live in projects and apartment buildings for generations and generations and never accomplish shit. Okay? Yeah, do I love my town? Yeah, I'm cool. That's where I grew up at. That's where my roots at. Because it had some good people at one time. But we went backwards, people. So now it's time to get real. You know what I mean? You got people claiming these cities like this. I'm from Compton. Compton do this. Inglewood do that. Or I'm from Atlanta. Or I'm from Chicago. I'm from Detroit. Everywhere you're talking about, you got blacks destroying each other. All of those places I just mentioned. You got blacks destroying each other. More than any other nationality. Well, then they got some people, well, Mexicans do it too. Mexicans do it on a low-key scale compared to what we do. Okay? Mm-hmm. So we need to just stop it. with the nonsense, pick up. Our people can't even recognize leadership. They looking for a celebrity for leadership. They can't look at somebody that's just grassroots. They're not looking at the brother like Malcolm X. He was a man that just seen it inside his spirit. And when he kept seeking and seeking, he found out more truth. Then they killed him. Then you ran to Farrakhan. That's a whole other story that'll get us off topic. So, I mean, wise up, people, especially these people that keep trying to force this Allah on me. I hope one of y'all is listening. Don't get at me with no Allah, no Islam, no religion, people. Rod, don't do religion. I hope you heard that, people. Yeah. So anyway, Colada, we want to thank you for calling. Like I said, I'm heated, but that's just me. And either I mean, people can accept it. You can accept it because it's all done in love. If you can't, kick rocks, keep pushing, because at the end of the day, Rod's gonna be okay. So Carlotta, we thank you for calling in. We appreciate you. Again, we're gonna be going to bring Grasshopper on in a minute. But thank you so much, Carlotta, for calling in and vibing with us on Super Conscious Outlet. We really appreciate you.
Let me say one thing real quickly.
Go ahead.
What she was touching on as far as the influences in school, and that to me is another thing that we have to pay attention to with our kids is when they're going to school, because you don't know how the teachers are treating them. They're already being taught a lot of self-hate. They're only getting taught about slavery and things of that nature. And so when you have, especially the young men, when you see them out, having these outbursts and they're resistant to the system, we have to get to that level where we understand why our kids are resistant, because there's a reason why we didn't like school. We don't think, we're like, oh, no, there's a reason why black children have such a hard time going to these white schools where they're doing white indoctrination to us. So we have to be aware of that. And then, too, Carlotta, if you're still there or you're listening, on a metaphysical level, I want to tell you to stay in that place that you are spiritually, where you are humbled by it. Know that your kids have to learn for themselves. We cannot protect them from everything. There is going to be a time in their lives where they have to get out and get their feet wet. But third, get your pen and paper and write down the relationship you want with your children. Write down where you want them to be at. Leave that paper somewhere in a sacred space, and it'll unfold on its own. Don't give up on them. Don't feel like they're lost. Don't put that energy out there that they're lost. Just know that they're protected too, and that you send the ancestors to guide them. And you know that they're going to have to figure out something. Some things at 17, I emancipated. I was a foster kid. I emancipated at 18 years old. So that means I was out on my own at 18, and the system was like, go. And I'm now 33 years old. And I've been on my own since I was 18, and I made it. I did go through some serious situations in my life, but I grew, and I have my own story to tell. And they're going to have their story. And I know we want to protect our kids completely from the reality because, we're like, oh, my God, I don't want to leave them free on this planet. But certain things they're going to have to learn, and through that learning they're going to gain experience, and through that experience they're going to grow, and they're going to become smarter and better people. But write it down. Write down the relationship you want with them. Don't give any energy or put any fear out there for them. Don't project into their future anything negative. Project that they're going to learn the great lessons and they're going to become great people. And you write it all out, and you leave it under your pillow, or you leave it somewhere sacred, and you'll watch it manifest.
I promise you I'll be doing that. Thank y'all. I appreciate y'all.
Oh, we love you.
Appreciate you.
Thank you for calling.
I'm talking to you so we can share that book. We can go over that book together. Got some real good insight in there. So listen, Carlotta, thank you for calling. And then, like I said, if you want to continue listening in, hopefully we'll get some more feedback. You know what I mean? But if not, we'll just continue to put it out there. The show's gonna be recorded, so those that miss it, they can go and just hear what it is that we need to do. So we'll probably be talking about some solutions and things we can do to eradicate this mental mind state that we're currently existing in.
Yeah.
All right.
Peace, Goddess.
Okay, Koshana, so I guess we can probably just chop it up for a few more minutes. And then is Grasshopper going to still call in if he's available still?
Oh, yeah, he's still available, but you want to just bring him in after the break?
Yeah, because we got about 7 minutes until then, so I'd rather just bring him in and then just, take a little break, get some water or whatever, and then just go ahead and let him, speak his mind. I really appreciate him taking the time to call in.
Yeah, he's excited about it, and he's listening in, so he says it's a great show. I was going to say is that I'm loving your passion tonight. Though I can see that you have gotten to that place where you're speaking just from your heart and you're not considering what other people are thinking. And so that to me is a good spot to be because you're really starting to ignite that real passion, and that's how you have to be to get a message across. Malcolm X, all these great leaders, they spoke from their heart and they didn't consider everyone else.
Right, and that's just where it's at. I mean, right now I'm just really trying to, I'm man enough to say I'm really trying to refrain from just, going into tears because if I did not love my people, I would not be on Facebook for 4 years. I would not allow something to take from my family at times, But I had to check myself. I mean, I was so much trying to reach my people that I was almost neglecting my household, Which is that is ignorant in itself. I have a wife that I was neglecting. I mean, when I say neglecting, I mean just not giving her the time, not taking time to explain to her. My thing was, when you live with me, you should just be picking it up. That's nonsense. That's idiotic because my passion is so focused. But I had to kind of refrain and step back and say, listen, the ones that are gonna get it are gonna get it. Can everybody get it? Yes, everybody can get it. This. You do not have. Well, we are geniuses anyway. In our DNA, we are the original geniuses. So I feel like everybody can get it. So it's to the point now that those that don't get it, it's because they choose not to. That's just what I firmly believe. So I'm not going to focus on them. I want to focus on the ones that want to build and want to change. And people will be surprised on how few can really control a lot. I mean, if you look at the population of the 1% that basically run this world.
Right.
Yeah, 1% of the population runs 99% of the population. How about that, people? How about that?
Right.
You got a bunch of white men in a smoke-filled room dictating how much gas is going to be, what area you're going to be allowed to live in. But you think you're free because you went and paid your money, and Jesus is going to save you. Jesus heals you, and he made you well. No, the body heals itself. If you put the right foods, the right nutrition, and the right thoughts in your mind, the body will heal itself without your magical dollars. You know what I mean?
Right. And you healed yourself. You're the healer. You think about it. I think I had posted something a while ago that said, when did I know that I was God? And it said, because when I started praying, I realized I was talking to myself. So all of this stuff that we're putting on an outside deity, we are the deity. It is our prayers that are being answered. It is us. Since God is so real to us, would God be real if we weren't here to acknowledge that there is a God? So we are really the main. We're the main component in this whole process. So we have to recognize that it is you that makes God real. It is you that makes any of this stuff real. You are the deity.
Yeah, that's wow, Goddess. You really did that. And like I said, I would like to refer to every woman as a goddess or a sister, but I think sometimes that's doing more hurt than help because if your conduct is not as such, then I'm gonna call you as you are. I'm gonna call you what you label yourself as. Okay?
Right.
So if you want to start labeling yourself in all these derogatory terms and you don't have a problem with it, then I cannot change that. I cannot treat you like something when you're telling me, you want to be treated like this. Whether it be in your presentation of yourself, whether it be in your vocal expression of yourself, then I must treat you as such,
Right.
Because I'm here for a reason. And people call me what you want to call me, that's fine. Just do yourself a favor. Don't put your hands on me or mine. That's the only thing I got to tell you. And I have extended family. And when I say extended family, I mean family in all places. My family is causing this show with me tonight. So if you know that somebody's associated with me, do yourself a favor, especially if you're a male dealing with a female member of my family. Do not put your hands on her unless you rubbing her and touching her and telling her you love her. Because if you put your hands on her in any kind of way of aggression, you know, I have done that twice in my almost 50 years. You know what I mean? Was it excusable? No, because nothing should make a man put his hands on a woman in that fashion. But I did it. But guess what? There was no repercussion. So I checked myself, and I've never done it again. You know what I mean? But had somebody stepped up and disciplined me in the way that I needed to be disciplined, I probably would have turned out a lot different earlier. So I'm just putting that out there over the airwaves. You know what I'm saying? But listen, let's get ready and go ahead and go to this break right now. We're going to take a break. Then when we come back, we're going to have a brother, the Honorable Grasshop, speaking with us on the Super Conscious Outlet, people. So enjoy this song, and then let's do this. Let's keep it rolling.
Right. You need your phone.
Okay, so listen. We're back, people, the Super Conscious Outlet. You know, tonight is probably one of the realest shows that I've done since I've been doing this show, because I'm speaking genuinely from my heart, you know, my true authentic self. This is who I am, and I don't have to go into any other detail. I don't know anybody else, any more explanations. I don't have to explain myself to anyone, and I no longer have a need to be accepted by anyone. I am who I am, and that's pretty much enough said. But anyway, without even holding out much longer, this brother was gonna be hosting this show with us as a co-host, actually, and we kind of got a little, well, we just went into it with whatever we did. So, but anyway, I want to bring him on right now. This is his brother Grasshop. That's what he goes by. And I want to bring him on and allow him to speak his mind from his point of view and just see what he has to say. So, Grasshop, are you with us? Hello? Hello? Yeah. Grasshopper, are you with us?
Yes, indeed. I'm here.
Okay, brother, how you doing today,
man? I'm happy to be a part of Super Conscious Outlet, a very profound radio blog show that's definitely elevating and pricking the consciousness of African descendant people. So it's just an honor and privilege to be here. And pretty much what y'all have been saying for the first hour has really been awesome, next level, and definitely needed, especially when we're talking about a topic such as reestablishing the black people's mind. Now, I would like to honor some individuals who were on the front lines of the good fight as far as liberating the minds of black people. These three individuals are ancestors. I'm talking about Frantz Fanon, I'm talking about Dr. Bobby Wright, and I'm also talking about the Grandmaster Teacher, Amos Wilson. These individuals who put their lives on the line, their time, their due diligence, to really help to elevate our level of understanding, elevate our conscience, just elevate us as a whole, with starting with the mind. Once again, this topic is very needed and extremely important. In these days and times, particularly with brothers or men in general, some seem to put a lot of emphasis on their genetics. When I'm talking about physical capabilities and abilities, as far as how strong you are. You know, some cats are gym rats. How much can you bench press? How fast you are. You know, some people are into sports. How agile you are, how quick you are. Put a lot of emphasis on the physical prowess, the physicalness of the body. If you listen to the great Tupac Amaru Shakur, may he rest in power, he is so fond of saying before he became an ancestor that if we here need a more, not of more rappers. We don't need more athletes or entertainers. What we need is more critical, analytical, and creative thinkers. In just a few moments, the great Floyd Mayweather will be taken to the ring, and he is also fond of saying that whoever's in the ring with him, they may be stronger than him. They may be faster than him. They may even have more heart than him, but they will not have a greater mind than he has. Basically, family, the mind is everything. The mind is truly divine. The mind is not just the brain. The brain is a 2-pound muscle that needs to be trained as well. But the mind is the whole ambiance of your essence. It's the esoteric being, the inner. It's the exoteric being, the outer. And the body is a symbolism to hold and connect and buff them all. The mind is so powerful. Our spiritual teacher, minister at Christ Unity Center of African Spiritual Science, the Righteous Right Reverend Mary Ra, is so fond of saying that thoughts held in mind produce after their own kind. What does that entail? It entails you want to really change your outcome. You want to really change your circumstances or your conditions to be in sync with that one sovereign spirit. Then first of all, we need to change our thinking. The mind is everything. Once again, the mind is the conscience. When you feel something that you know is not right, that is your mind giving you the heads up. When you feel something in your conscience, your instincts, your intuition, that is also considered the mind as well. So once again, the mind is the whole ambiance, the holistic. It's combining the spirit, it's combining the physical, the soulful, cultural, and even oratorical rites of passage to elevate our level of living, to reach our highest and greatest self in this physical expression of living, but it must have a strong mind. You can be holding boulders. You can bench press 500 pounds. You can have a close quarter knuckle drilling game. But if you're not mentally astute, if you're not mentally strong in maintaining that strong the psyche, then all of that is null and void because the mind tells the body what to do. So I'm just happy to be a part of this superconscious outlet. Those are my opening remarks.
Grasshopper, I want to ask you when you find time to call in. You know, I know you guys will be expecting a little Queen Goddess. You know what I'm saying? Which is just a remarkable. You know, which you guys have. You know, coming in the next couple of days. Whenever you get a chance, brother, I would love for you to co-host with me. I would love to take this superconscious outlet and for it to go more geared towards the reawakening of the mind. I'm actually working on a book, you know, titled, you know, somewhat like what we're speaking on today. And the thing what you said, brother, you just spoke with so much sincerity and so much truth. And this is what happens when you just open up and you start, you know, just realizing who you are. You realize your potential, and you start to just the things that we thought that made us men were just illusions. You know, like if you can bench press this, if I can curl, 80 pounds with one hand, I'm the big dude, on the yard. Everybody respect me. That was so nonsensical now that I look back. You know what I mean? But when I see, us coming together, you know what I mean, in a mental, spiritual way, it is way more powerful than we would ever be physically. I mean, when we start to realize that there's things we can do with thought that we're incapable of doing physically, just with our thought and our energy, and as we come together as a collective whole, even if it's just a few of us, it's just truly remarkable. And I just want to extend, my most grateful sign of gratitude to you, brother, that I thank you and I appreciate you for calling in and taking the time. And any time, I mean, you're always welcome here. This is your show as much as it is mine. I'm not looking for fame or fortune or money or anything like that. Yeah, we need money as a tool in the world that we live in currently. But I'm looking to educate my people, to show them how we can do things without a lot of money and build and provide for each other. And one of the main things is to love and nourish each other. And if you love me, love yourself first. Love your mind. because it's really the greatest tool that you came here with. So I just wanted to put that out there and just tell you I thank you too, Brother Glasshouse. I really do.
Yes, and the feeling is definitely neutral, and you touched on some great things about, that's the thoughts, that you study the 10 virtues of the ancient Egyptian mystery systems, given to us by the great Uncle George C.M. James. That's in the Solar Legacy book, page 30 to 31. The first virtue is control of thought. We got to be in control of our thoughts. We got to be able to control even comes into our conscious and subconscious mind. That's why it is extremely important to me to meditate. Meditation is extremely important. As the great Khalid Abdul Muhammad says, meditation is dealing with concentration, focus, visualization, like he touched on earlier, communication, and imagination, encompassing all together and becoming one with that sovereign spirit. So meditation is extremely important. Now, I've got some slack for some of my methodologies when it comes to meditation. Now, I am definitely for meditating in a place of silence. I do that on a consistent basis. I take at least 30 minutes to an hour to have time where no sound, no noise, where I can just gather my thoughts, thinking, writing, reading, strengthening my brain, all that brain training, digesting information, discovering new thoughts. It's always good to meditate in a place of silence. But I also follow the essentials of Ma'at, which is balance. And I truly believe it is a time where you might need to meditate when it is some noise around. Now, use discretion with that. I'm not saying be around a garbage truck. No, I'm saying when some noise around, it helps to keep your focus. That's what focus is, keeping a constructive thought housed in your mental Rolodex. And even when you're going throughout your day, little distractions, people might be hating on you, you still keep that focus. And with that exercise and methodology, I'm not telling you what I've read, not telling you what I theorized. I'm telling you what I have done and what has worked for me. It has strengthened my focus because when I'm out there in the world, in the community, I'm able to face shock, not be spooked. You dig? I'm able to face surprises, not be thrown off. It keeps me grounded. It keeps me focused. It allows me to operate out of a controlled aggression mindset. Be proactive, not necessarily reactive, with the controlling my thought. Meditating with some noise around. I recall when I was hitting that, if you're familiar with bar work, bar work, doing some pull-ups, and when I get done with it, I always go meditate, ease endorphins in my body, get my body back and my heart rate back down to where it's supposed to be. And I recall one day when I was doing a pull-ups, I said, I'm going to go over here and sit next to some people, some transient people, they were doing some talking, and I'm going to meditate around them and see how long I can hold that focus, man. And to be honest with you, when I went over there and started to do my meditation thing, they immediately got quiet. That's the truth. They got quiet. They respected me, meditated and everything. So anyway, even when the main moral is when you're serious about really elevating the consciousness and the level of our people, like you, Koshana, Queen Goddess Koshana is teaching, to start with yourself. We're going to be honoring Tupac and Marshall Shakur Solo to Return next month, and we've been doing it for 5 years. Same with Khalid Muhammad and Kwame Ture, a.k.a. Stokely Carmichael. And I've always advocated when you come and honor the greatness of Tupac, Malcolm X, the first Honorable Marcus Mosiah Garvey, Black Mama Moses, Harriet Tubman, always honor the greatness within each and every one of you, because we could take their experience and the examples and use them as tools for us to really, once again, maximize the potential that one sovereign spirit has deposited within each and every one of us. And like you, Goddess Queen Koshana has touched on, hating on our people is getting very played, is very immature. I think it's very childish. You can't constantly say black people ain't doing this, black people are not doing that. Well, are you talking about yourself? You're just spewing out criticisms, because as one of my jagners taught me, anybody can criticize, but if you really want to change something, you get in there and do it. You can criticize Farrakhan, you can criticize Jesse Jackson, Al Sharpton, all that. Okay, that's relevant. You might get a couple of shades and people might stroke your fragile ego, but when you really want to make a change, you get in there and do something, and it takes a real man of true character and integrity and a woman of true character and integrity and audacious decency to really speak highly about their people, like Kwame Ture did. He knew these are going to be winners. We're going to win in this battle, in this war of liberation. First it starts with the mind, collaborating the spirit to the physical, and we will march on to freedom, but it starts with grasshopper, looking in the mirror. If I want to criticize somebody, criticize myself so I can step my game up.
Yes, man. You know what, Grasshopper? brother, you know, it's just, it never amazes me, and sometimes it's really not that often. You know, I'm at a loss for words when I hear a brother such as yourself speak, because these are the messages that I convey. It's like I mentioned all of those names. You know, I mentioned the Farrakhan's. Yeah, I might not have mentioned the Sharpton, the Jesse Jackson. Even though we may not like what they're doing, but they stepped up. They got in the ring. I mean, so how much can you criticize them when you're not willing to get in the ring? When you're not willing to go out there, because no matter what, I don't care how many people like you. I mean, if Tupac is known, white people, Hispanic people, I don't think I'd go a day I don't not hear a Tupac song on the radio. When I'm looking over in the next car, wherever I'm at, and it's a non-black listening to his music. But everybody doesn't like Tupac. It don't matter, because Tupac has some good points. Tupac may have done some things in his personal life that wasn't acceptable. We all go through growth spurts. I mean, I have people that like me. I have people that dislike me, and that's fine. But my thing is, I'm not going to knock the next man, because I know that I'm still growing constantly. At the almost age of 50 this year, I am constantly in a state of growth. Therefore, I am in a constant state of evolving. I am constantly ascending. And so when you speak about meditation, I've even gotten some flack from somebody, because people, for me to be here, I had to be taught too. I had to be taught. I didn't come here completely with everything I possess. I studied Malcolm X. I studied Marcus Garvey. I studied Martin Luther King, and there's a few other ones. Thomas Sankara. I mean, Stokely Carmichael. I mean, all the brothers from the Panther Party. And what happened to our generation, that, you know, after we were systematically destroyed from any type of positive black movement, we became bastards. I refer to this on almost every show. We became bastards, because there was no more us organization. There was no more Panther Party. So now we're just running around. We're just wild. No guidance, no discipline, no consequence to your action. You know, at one time when I first started going to the prison, you couldn't come there with certain crimes and think it's going to be okay. Well, now anybody can shoot anybody and go in there and be like, oh, man, you know, I killed dude from whatever set. You know, that's not acceptable. We have to get back. I mean, we have to go back, not criticize the youth, the ones that are still being in the gang. You know, those of us that are older, my age, have been in gangs. We need to go back and say, listen, brother, this ain't about nothing. This ain't about nothing. So, but no, what we do is we have a lot of brothers that go back and they start to associate and do the same things that the youngster is doing, which is not teaching them anything. You know what I mean?
Right.
So we have to be responsible, like you said. When I look in the mirror, it was a long time I looked in the mirror. I don't even want to go over the period of years. But I didn't like myself. So when I went out into public, when I went out into the environment, I was always looking for someone to explode on, someone to unleash this pain and this fury on, you know. And believe me, I found them. And then I kept finding them so much till I found myself locked in a 6x9 with nothing but a little inside of a pen and some scratch paper and some drawers. No food, no TV, didn't even have a cup for water. I used to have to hold my hands together and drink out the sink like I was in some kind of primitive place. But here I am, considering myself a G, a man of intelligence. But, you know, I mean, having to take baths in a stainless steel toilet because they would only give you baths a couple of times a week. You know what I mean? Having to ask somebody else, can I have a piece of state soap? You know? So these are things that I don't want to glamorize this prison lifestyle. There's nothing good about going to prison. It's almost like we accept that as a rite of passage. Oh, when he coming home? We're going to have a party for so-and-so. You know he's coming home next month. Yeah? For real? So we're going to reward him for being away in prison, right? I mean, we got to start thinking. We got to start thinking. What is the outcome? What is the long-term goal? What are we going to do for the next generation? These people gave their lives for us, Brother Grasshopper. Everyone that you mentioned sacrificed their life for us in their own way.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
From Tupac to Malcolm. You know what I mean? All of them. You know, we're willing to get on the front line and become a media focus point. And what does the system do? Every time we have a leadership or somebody that start gathering our people together, they kill us. They kill us. And that's why many people won't step up. But they'll call their next brother out, you know. oh, man, you ain't this, you ain't that, man. Whatever, you want to get down, I'll shoot you, I'll stab you, whatever. I mean, come on, man. We got to get better. And like I said, I appreciate you, calling and vibing with us. And please continue because, I mean, you have some very insightful and worthy information that needs to be shared. I mean, in all actuality, I feel as though we need a bigger format because the message that you have, the message that Koshana has, and the level of intellect that you all speak on, being a few decades younger than myself, that's what makes me connected. This is why I'm so good to be amongst you all because that keeps me in the loop, so to speak. Okay?
Right.
So, my people that's my age, they need to know it too. But when people get to a certain point, this is not me just saying this, they start to become set in their ways.
Complacent.
My thing is I keep an ear to the street so I can be aware of what the youth is doing. I'm aware of what they're listening to. I don't need somebody to come and tell me, oh, did you know this is going on out there? I mean, just like right now, TCP is coming back. All the gangbangers are smoking Sherm again. You know what I mean? Methamphetamine. Speed is a big thing. Blacks never smoked speed because, I mean, it was a crazy drug that was just beyond us. But when something gets so much media attention, like they pumped meth. These white folks in this media, they pumped methamphetamines until you couldn't turn on the TV. You was hearing about this epidemic. That's reverse psychology, people. What they show you, just like when they came to my elementary school, okay? They haven't been in my daughter's elementary school. She's 9 years old. But when I was in the second and third grade, Officer Bird, or whatever his name, came to see us and showed us joints. And if you smoke this joint, this is what it's going to do to you. And you smoke this little skinny joint, it got some other stuff in it. So guess what? Now that's embedded in your mind because now you just waiting to try. Man, I want to try one of them joints because he already said it's going to make you feel like this. It's all it's psychodynamics that they play with, people. It's reverse psychology that they use on us. And this is why I'm telling my people, this is why it was so important to do this show today. You have to be aware of your mind.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead, Grasshopper, Koshana. Y'all take it over. I talked enough.
I have a question for Grasshopper. I know that you work with the youth all the time. And I want to know from your standpoint, what do you think we could do to really help influence our youth? Because one of the things that we have to recognize is that our babies really are the future. So when you look out and you see them and the way that they're behaving, what does that say about our future? What does that say? What does our future look like when you consider the state and condition our youth are in? So, I mean, from your standpoint, being somebody who's always working hands-on with younger people, what do you think? What is the technique that we can be using to show them how the music is influencing, or show them how, the TV, because to get them to see that how this is influencing them. You see, the young lady who called earlier was speaking about her 17-year-old, picking up and moving out and having influences from the environment he was in. So what is your take on that? What do you think we could do to help our youth?
Okay, well, like you said, the youth is our future. Youth may be 65% of the population, but they are 100% of the present. And as Obati Shaka's fond of teaching, if you're old enough to breathe, you're old enough to lead. Now, as far as what I am observing from the youth, I'm going to keep it 200. I see improvement. I'm going to be real. I see a lot of improvement, to be honest with you, with the youth. As you know, I'm from L.A., and when I was, I wasn't mobile, and I was catching the Metro, my big limousine. And when the Metro will be filled to capacity, meaning where there were no seats available, I've seen on more than 50 occasions young black male who some might be considered to be a menace to society. I have seen them with my own eyes on multiple occasions get up out their seat and give not just the elders a seat, but I've seen them give young ladies a seat without any hesitation. Sometimes they beat me to it, So I am seeing improvement. My observation of the youth is, like y'all touched on it earlier, be the example that you want the youth to follow. Like Brother Rod was saying, that music is influential. Hip-hop, without a shadow of a doubt, is probably the most influential teaching method we have to get our youth. I'll be frank with you. We all know that hip-hop, to be honest with you, is the young man's or young woman's game. It's their occupation. You know, the youth will gravitate to someone of their own peer, of their own age. I came up loving Tupac. People might came up loving KRS-One, Rakim. You know, they're going to gravitate to the generation that they are a part of. One of my methods that I do, first of all, is go back to the ABCs of life. Look, we're going to remove the revolutionary hat for a moment. Let's remove the revolutionary hat, all the isms, all the ideologies. Let's keep it real. Talk to the brothers. I'm telling you what I have not just read, but what I know. When you talk to the brothers who was tatted up, inked out the game, when you say, how you doing, sincerely, talk to them like you got some sense. You'll be surprised you get, I've gotten straight up intellectual dialogues, talking to them one-on-one. Because a lot of them cats, when they're doing what they're doing is to cry for help. And if we can go out to them and reach them, not with no schisms, not with no ideology, but just reach them. We have a saying in the Sons and Daughters of Sankofa, an organization that I'm a part of. Reach out to the person, then prove your philosophical point. What does that entail? Then we got to reach out and see what their likes, what are their interests. That's why hip-hop is important. For us as being African-centered or being a part of the African culture community is for us to enlighten them by using hip-hop as a model. That's why I'm going to say I believe Tupac is the most influential and greatest UFC of all times, because he was able to touch on so many avenues. If you was involved in the foster program, Tupac had you there. If you was in the streets trapping, he got you there. If you was unfortunately, if you was a player, he had you there. And if you was in the movement because he was born from the Black Panther Party, he had you there. So my thing is to, once again, strengthen my mind, reading every day, reading on different things that I know the youth are a part of, and then being communal with them, going out there, getting some ideas, and talking with them. And above all, listen to them, because they have a lot to say, and I have got a lot of insight with a lot of these young men, you know, who is crying for help. But if we continue to criticize them, and I have been, in the past, I have been very hard on the youth. They degenerative, always sagging, always negative. Nothing good we can say about them. The same people that's supposed to continue the race consciousness, the same people that's supposed to continue the tradition, the same people that's supposed to continue the race. You mean to tell me have nothing good to say about them? And if we continue to hate on everything they do, we hate on the lyrics, we hate on the basketball, we hate on everything that the youth do. They fashion tires. They're going to reverse the hate on us, and that's why it's a breakage in the generation gap because of this criticism. And if it be 1,000, keep it really true with you, especially when it comes to, like Brother Rob talked about, the drug epidemic that's going on right now. All generations, since the 1920s, all generations have had some form of high octane of drug, whether it's strong alcoholism, whether it was messing with that boy called smack, and you know a commonly called heroin. Then in the 80s came the crack, and now you got so many different substances. Every generation had their ups and downs. And the thing is, though, for me, being in between the 60s and raised in the 80s and primarily the 90s, my objective is to be at the footsteps of our elders. I got a strong core council of elders who reprimand me, but tell me what I need to know. And also what I learn from them to teach it with the youth. Maybe not the same way, but in a different way. Speaking with them, not just speaking at them or speaking to them, but speaking with them. And how you do that is having dialogue, not monologue. You got to dig what I'm saying. Yes. So my contention is right now, when I'm talking with you, is to build with them. And also when they need to be disciplined, like Roger said, you don't have to go always physical altercation with them. Talk to them in their face, you know what I mean? You know the situation I did, Coco, back in harassing them young boys messing with their pet bull, and the brothers came and told a couple of members of the young boys is antagonizing a violent pet bull, you know, and I came there and I had to talk with them. I can't talk to them very, very hard, you know what I mean, because I need to get their attention. But once I got them away from the people, because I ain't trying to pull no show, I'm not trying to embarrass them, I'm trying to really be with them and work with them and school them. I asked them, why did y'all do that? What was the reason y'all messed with the dog? What was the reason y'all was trying to antagonize the pit bull? What if they get loose? The pit bull smell you. You know, they don't forget the smell. You know what I'm saying? They don't forget. You did? What was your motive? I want to see what was y'all thinking. And I come to find something out. They said they wasn't thinking. So that's why the show is very important, because the thing is, though, how to establish some critical, analytical, strong thinkers to not just go along with the trend, but to be independent, be independent thinkers. You don't have to bang, you know what I mean? You don't have to follow the crowd, you know what I mean? You don't have to go with the popular trend. What you need to do is trust your intuition, trust your consciousness, trust what the one sovereign spirit has put you on earth to do, and that's going to take self-manifestation and self-mastery. It's a day-to-day process. Then you be the man that enter, or whoever your personal deity is, called you to be. So my methodology and my technique is to speak with the youth and to get some honest discourse and dialogue with them. And when they need to be disciplined, I do it not in front of people. I critique in private, but I praise them in public, and that's my methodology.
Hey, Grasshopper, listen, brother. You. It's like I tell you, you can just see. This is a prime example right now, people, of what consciousness is. When you truly in an atmosphere of conscious people, a person can just pick up where you left off, and you can just see them just speaking your words, your thoughts. This is true consciousness, Grasshopper. I mean, not that I needed it, not that I doubted it, but you have confirmed to me today that we are both on the same accord. And matter of fact, we got a caller. Let's bring this caller in, because she may have a question for you. So if we can we bring this caller in right now? I believe it's Cache.
No, it's Nkashi.
Excuse me, Nkashi.
It's all right.
I just
I'll
wanted
try to
make
your
sure.
head and not your heart.
Hey, I needed that. It made me laugh. I need a little bit of laughter right now, because I really, really am passionate about this topic tonight. And so, what do you have to add? What is your take on this?
Well, you know what? I just was able to tune in, but at the right time. This was like a confirmation. I tuned in when you were saying about people stepping up, and every time someone steps up, they kill them. So I tuned in at that, and to hear this brother speak, oh my gosh, hey, that was powerful what he just said. Oh man. The energy is just amazing right now. That was very powerful what he said. And I agree 100%. I don't even have anything to add to it, because it's like, what else do you say? What he said is on point. And to teach our children to be critical thinkers is something that we need to do. But we have to be critical thinkers first before we can teach them how to be critical thinkers. But
yeah,
I'm just amazed. I tuned in at the right time. You have no idea. This is such a confirmation for me. I really do. And Brother Grasshopper is your name?
Yes, Grasshopper. Yes, ma'am.
Listen, it was so meant for me to tune in at the time I just tuned in. I have a really strong desire in my heart to work with young girls. I've always been saying this. Just what you said is a conversation that I had with someone, so that just lets me know I'm right. My mind is right where I need to be to do what I'm trying to do. So thank you for that. I appreciate that.
And we appreciate you, sister. And, yes, working with the youth is definitely where a lot of my energy is going to be put forth into. I have another daughter coming into the world on Tuesday, and I have nothing but daughters. So, I'm definitely want to work with you, but I also want to work with the young men, so have some men that's going to be able and capable of, not near future, but in the future, to be with my daughter. So it's definitely important to reach out to the youth. And like Kwame Ture says, we got to be the example. I mean, enough for criticizing, man. All the dudes, the blacks. I mean, that's played. We want to talk about the race, I mean, if we talk about race, you're excluding yourself from that, Why were you so negative? We had this with, even in hip-hop, unfortunately, with Biggie Smalls and Tupac and Marshall Shakur, negative. And now, it's even coming on down with comedians. I heard that Michael Epps and Kevin Hart got a beef going on right now. I mean, it's getting kind of crazy. Goodness. Competitiveness has its place, but when you get over competitive and get obsessed with competition at the expense of hating on one another, it takes you out of your mission in life that the Most High put you on earth to do. And for me, being an example to youth is you can be the best person you can be without putting the next man down. Praise. Give your brother props. Stop playing around. We're talking about unity right now. Say what's up to your brother. Don't look at him like you inferior of him. Say what's up. How you doing? I'm getting a point right now. Out here, I say hotep, and I say it loud enough they can hear me. I used to be like, hotep, how you doing? No, I say hotep. I'm pushing my Kemeticness. I'm pushing. I ain't playing with it no more. Like today, we're this baby shower right now. They said amen. I said I say loud like I can say it. You know what I mean? And they have a question for me. I'll explain to them what I say mean though. But right now, I'm at the point right now where I'm not going to hide it. I'm not going to hide it anymore. I'm going to use discretion. Obviously, I'm going to operate out of the spirit of Amen. I'm in the rod, a hidden one. But when it comes to the babies, when it comes to youth, I'm going to reach them at their level, and you'd be surprised. They could teach me something because these youth have taught me something because these youth are some spiritual super children. And all they need is some elders to guide them because they have all the intricacies and all the capabilities and essentials and the talents that the creators put within them. It's just up to us to facilitate them and guide them. And the same with me, though. I still need some guidance. I don't have all the answers. But a conscious African, a conscious person will never stop seeking all that he or she can know in this physical expression of living. So that's my methodology and that's my example. When I convey it to the youth, the example, and they see the example that Grasshopper does, not just with the talking, it's with the application and the execution application. And that's what I'm
And I definitely can respect that. And Sister Kashana, how are you?
Mm-hmm. I'm good. I'm good. I'm here, everybody.
Okay. And I don't know if you guys remember me. I know Rod do, Miss Constance here in Orlando. I am so
I remember you, sis.
I cannot wait to get where I'm trying to go. I would love to meet up with you guys. I'm very inspired by you guys, just so you know. I mean, wow. I love what you do. You have no idea. Yes, please keep doing it.
Hey, well, listen,
we love you.
I talk tough, but I'm really a big old marshmallow because I love my people. I don't be trying to cry on this radio, just so you know. But, I have daughters too, Grasshopper, and I want you to hear this, Nkashi, because I have daughters too. I've been married to my wife for 11 years in June. We grew up together. She had to go do some things, and it's been a real crazy week for me. Not crazy, just a real trying week. Put it like that. I'm trying to be more aware of my words. But it's been a real trying week. I mean, my mother-in-law passed away, and my mom introduced her mom and dad. This family has been a part of each other since the 50s. You know what I mean? We've been a part of each other, these two families. And so I realized I was really, I really was maturing, some years ago, because I had friends that, used to be my wife's boyfriend or whatever, and I'm like, you know what? None of that stuff matters because it's about what we can build together. You know what I mean? What example can we teach? So when I speak, just like you, Grasshopper, I speak from experience. I'm married. You know what I mean? Yeah. Am I a man? Do I have issues like everybody else? Yes, I do. I mean, do I have times when I don't want to be married? Yes, I do, people. So it's not about me trying to project this image of perfection. It's about I'm perfect for what I came here to do, okay? So we all have flaws, so I don't look for the flaws. I look for the good. I mean, because not even the good. Just I look for the what the person has to offer that can build, okay? So my thing is speaking with you all tonight is that my thing is too for the young men. You know what I mean? Because who's gonna respect my daughter as she should be respected? Who's gonna have enough respect for themselves to know how to respect her? You know what I mean? That little one that's in there. Hopefully I can plant a tree that she'll be able to sit under the shade. I may not be able to sit under the shade, but I plant the tree now. She'll be able to enjoy the fruit that it bears. You understand? This is my ideology. This is my thinking. So it's not about, so much as trying to obtain some material possessions. It's about being grateful for what I have now and what I'm attracting. And just to hear Nkashi say that we inspire her, that lets me know. that lets me know
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
when you work from the spirit, you attract in the spirit. You know what I mean? And I am so touched by that. And just like you said, Grass, I am not going as of today. I mean, I've done it. I've been on Facebook for 4 years. I told Koshana, I mean, we've had to talk. I was dead set against it. Told my wife she was foolish for being on here. It ain't nothing but a bunch of nonsense. Everybody cussing and fussing. But now the whole thing is, I see that even it's changing. It's still some negativity on there. You're going to have that, you know what I mean? You're going to have both energies because that's what the world consists of. But I'm seeing the format change. I see people starting to say more peaceful things, you know what I mean? I see people trying. So this is my whole thing. This is what frustrates me. When I hear people say we can't or we won't, I just have a problem with that. Because my thing is we can and we will. And now guess what? I know this to be a fact because I'm going to speak to it with all my life in my body while I'm here, while my spirit is housed in this physical vehicle that's called a human body that's just housing my spirit, okay? I am going to speak what I have to speak. Everyone is not going to accept it, oh well. That's their choice. But when I surround myself with people that's on this call in the present moment, then all I can say to myself and you all as well is job well done. That's pretty much all I want to add to that.
Ashe. I wanted to say something really quickly to the sister. I love the idea of working with the young goddesses. Anything that will really empower our sisters, because we've all heard that saying that, you know, to teach a man is to teach one person, which I'm not saying that's necessarily true, but to teach a woman is to teach a nation, because the children are born through our womb, and we're their first teachers. So it is so important that we do get to our young goddesses and teach them self-love, love for their hair, love for their skin complexion. You know, it hurts my heart when I hear stories about young black girls who don't feel pretty because they're dark-skinned. You know, and we need to reach out to them. We need to have these programs where these sisters can come, and starting at the age of 1 or 2, you know, we need to start installing that in them. I had an incident recently with some young kids. I gave my daughter a birthday party, and this is just to let you know how on it children are. Never underestimate them. I gave my daughter a birthday party, and I'm fully into metaphysics. So around my house, you see all type of things that I've manifested. You see the pictures that I kept, and then you see what I manifested next to it. I always, it's kind of like set up like a little museum because I want people to be able to visually see how this works when they walk into my house. So I took the kids around my house and kind of gave them a tour. I showed them the Netaroos that, real people that manifested as dolls, and showed them pictures of things that I'd created and how they came back as real things. And it was about 10 children. It was her birthday party. Those kids were glued to my hip. They wanted to know more. They wanted to know how to do it. My daughter showed them her vision board. You know, they wanted to know how to make one. They wanted to know if they could come back and make some. And the energy was so powerful. And, I mean, I had the only – and it's really strange because I can show adults the same pictures and they'll question it. Well, how did that happen? Or, you know, they need to use logic to make sense of how things are manifesting. But the children immediately, oh, wow, you made that happen? You know, okay, so what do I have to think? And so a couple weeks later after the party, I came to visit my sister, and when I walked in, her daughter was making a vision board. I mean, and that's how quick she picked up on it. It wasn't I got to tell her 101 times, make a vision board, draw it, write it down. They got it so quickly. So I honestly do believe in the power of our youth. And I think that they are so open, especially between the ages of 0 and 12. They are like sponges. So if we could get in there and program that subconscious to know that they are creatresses and they're goddesses and they're the most beautiful thing walking and their hair makes them beautiful, and really get in there and, like Brother Grasshopper was saying, become proactive about things instead of complaining about our youth. Because if we're not doing it, someone else is doing it. and they're doing it for the negative. They understand the power of the youth. They're no way in confusion about what the next generation that they're trying to create. So we do have to take that leadership role and decide what kind of generation we're going to create. And we have to stop being afraid of them. We have to stop acting like they're going to do something or, oh, we can't talk to them. They don't get it. I've noticed, because a lot of people that I deal with are a lot younger than me, but they are really like sponges. They accept without even arguing with me. When I try to talk to an elder or someone sometimes, it's like I got to explain it. They don't believe me. They think it's hocus pocus and things like that. But if I talk to a young person, they absorb that information immediately. So I just thinking about what everyone has said tonight has empowered me even more that it's time that we do pull in our babies. It's time that we do tell them the truth. And it's time that we let them know their powers. It's just we're at that stage now where they're probably the ones that are going to save us. So we have to get this information to them quickly and let them know how this works. But I love you, sis. I love your energy. Every time you call, you make my energy rise. So I really appreciate you calling in.
I appreciate you guys being available. I mean, you have no idea. And the reason I say I know that's what I'm supposed to do, because the Creator always puts me in the path of someone. And because I've lived in the projects, now no one knows, no one would ever know my story unless I told them. I'm so not the stereotypical black girl like people think, very educated. It amazes me how young people just open up to me, but I open myself up to them as well. Like Grasshopper was saying, you have to just talk to them. Just talk to them. They're more than willing to open up. You know, I love being the encourager. I think that's what I'm supposed to do. I mean, how else am I supposed to be? I don't know how else to be. That's just, I'm wired that way, you know. So I respect the gift that I have, and I respect the gift that you guys have. You definitely did something for me tonight. I tuned in just in time. Thank you so much.
We appreciate you. We really do. We appreciate you. And I just want to touch on just two things real quick because I have to. First, people, let's understand why they come to get our children as early as, a thing was started. I believe Reagan was in office. And they started a thing called the Head Start program. Okay, so they didn't even want to get us at 5 and 6 anymore. They wanted to get us out of their home at 3 and 4 years old. Listen, we want you to go to work and you just come drop your kids off with us. We need to be taking care of our own children. We need to be providing daycare. We need to be teaching. It is time beyond time for a change. I just use the word time because I don't want to go into that, but time itself is an illusion. People, we owe each other. People say, don't nobody owe me nothing. Stop telling that lie. As black people, we owe each other the best that we came here to offer. We owe that to each other. Each and every one of us has a debt to pay. And we need to pay that debt by being the best people that we can be, starting with ourselves. I mean, the message has been here since I've been here, okay? I keep telling people I'll be here, it'll be 50 years. Oh, you don't live 50, but I don't even feel 50. I feel like I'm 700 years old. But anyway, we need to just start being there for each other, start loving each other, and start listening to each other. Listen to your babies. Listen to the youth. Quit trying to be right. Quit trying to teach so much and just guide. There's a difference between teaching and guiding. The teaching will naturally come on. When they get ready to learn, they naturally absorb the teaching. But right now, look at yourself as a spirit guide. You're just guiding the spirit to the next phase, okay? Because at the age of 12, believe it or not, you know what I'm saying, at the age of 12, you have already developed discernment. Really, it's at the age of 9, but we'll just go to 12. You know what's right from wrong. If you come into someone's home, you see a $100 bill laying on that table, you know that does not belong to you, okay? That should be there when you leave and everybody else leaves if it was laying there when you came. But so we have to instill these values. We have to go back. We have to teach our children, to be morally correct, to be respectable to themselves, okay? And we have to communicate with them. We cannot keep just downing them and criticizing them. I don't want to listen to you if all you got is critical things for me. I'll take your constructive criticism better as an adult. But a young mind, I don't want to hear everything you say is I'm doing something wrong. Okay? So let's have an alternative to the music. Let's just not criticize the music. Have an alternative. Show them something else. Introduce them to some other forms of music. Introduce them to some other forms of hip hop. There's still some positive things out there right now. But these things don't get mass media attention. And then let's go and let's hold the ones that with the derogatory lyrics. We don't need whatever the lady's name was that Tupac used to cuss out all the time. Y'all know what I'm talking about. I know you know Grasshopper. In one of his songs, he telling about, the one that was trying to get in, Dolores Tucker. We don't need the Dolores Tuckers. We need to go. We need to go and say, hey, you little Weezies and all this kind of stuff, talking about all this stuff he's talking, with the explicit sex stuff. That's not good for a young mind. And this man has a daughter himself, but he also refers to women in derogatory terms. So his whole thing is a contradiction. Not to point him out, just give an example. Okay? What we all can do collectively, people. You matter. You matter. Everybody tells you your voice don't matter, but when it's time to vote, you go around here and you get your little sticker and you post on Facebook, because I did it too. I voted, and guess what? Voting ain't got us nowhere. Voting hasn't done nothing for us. We have taken no steps towards reaching our rightful place on this planet through voting. We need to step up, teach our own, educate our own people. It's really all up to us. I want to say this and just kind of leave it at that. We are the change that we've been waiting for. The change is us. It starts with us, and it must be done by us. And that's what I wanted to share on that note. And Kashi, we thank you so much. Please call us back. Actually, I don't think we have any other callers. If you want to stay on the line now, you can. Grasshopper, you can go ahead and finish. You got a couple minutes. Koshana, you can go ahead and close out the show after Grasshopper finished. And then I'm just going to wrap it up now because we're pretty much done, people. I want to thank everybody for calling in. Sister Carlotta and Kashi, I want to thank you all. For all of you that listened that didn't call in, I want to thank you all for taking the time to listen on this Saturday evening. I want to just give an extended thanks to the both of you as a couple, to the Koshana Quavy Jones and Brother Grasshopper. I want to give both of you an extended welcome, and I want to just say I commend you, my brother, for being a man. And when I say that, not defining anything by your physical stature or your physique or anything like that. When I say being a man, I mean stepping up, honoring your family, and basically living what you speak. So I thank you, Brother Grasshopper, for joining us today. Koshana, thank you for being my co-host. I don't think nobody else would have worked. And that's it. Koshana, you can go ahead and get a shout-out, whatever, wrap it up, and then we just go from there. Thank you, Kashi, for calling.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Hotep.
Hotep, who got it? Okay, well, before we go, let's give our shout-out to the next shows for this week. Monday, we have the Jay Allen Show, hosted by Jay Allen and Nazir at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Wednesday, we have You Must Learn, hosted by Lamar E. Martin, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Saturday, we have our show, Super Conscious Outlet, hosted by none other but our brother God, Rod Jarrow, and Koshana Qualey. We're on at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And we have Sunday with our girl, Ms. Z, and Tiffany Gibson. Let's talk about it. They're on at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time and 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And before we close out, I did want to give a shout-out to Miss Kateria Knowles. We are having the Black Family Reunion again this year, family, so that will be July 5th If you're interested in more details, please inbox me, or you can inbox Kateria Knowles. She's spelled Kateria Knowles, Knows. She's on Facebook. We are looking for vendors and performers. And before we close out, we'll let Brother Grasshop finish up and say his closing remarks. I love you guys. Peace, love, one destiny, one mind. Ashe.
Hey, listen, real quick, Grasshop. Just wanted to put that out there. On the Jay Allen show, Jay Allen is doing that show pretty much by himself. He has another call. The brother Nasir is no longer a part of that show. So I just wanted to put that out there. I know that's some information you probably weren't updated on. Yeah, but Nasir is no longer a part of the Jay Allen show. Just wanted to put that out there, people. Go ahead, Grasshop. Listen, love y'all all. Keep doing what you're doing, and may peace be in you, not just upon you.
Yes.
Ashe, thanks for having me on the show. It's been a wonderful conversation, wonderful building session, and pretty much we all said it all. And now it's for us to continue that momentum. And let's uphold the power of the ancestors of African descent, the sovereign spirit, and just be the person, the human, H-U-E, that Unter and the sovereign spirit created us to be. Take it from this blog, take it out in your communities, wherever you're at, and allow it to spread so it can hit everybody. And if we continue to be due diligent, consistent, and be committed to a greater cause, even greater than ourselves, of being a service to the community, to the people, and being at one with the sovereign spirit, the African ascendant race will move forward, and we will be liberated, free, and also be in control of our destiny. And once we are in control of our destiny, all other humans will be in control of their destiny. But it starts with the person that you look in the mirror every day. Thank y'all for having me. Hit the poo. Ashe.
Ashe.